am currently in New York at CrossFit 516, and the Tyler that I'm talking about is the owner of this gym, Tyler McBride. Yeah.
Do you have any reputations for keeping a particular kind of gym?
Yeah, well, he claims that he has the cleanest gym in America at all times, except that there's chalk on the floor and there's chalk on the rigs, and I think there's definitely some dust bunnies in there, although I haven't discovered them.
Get out. Take your things and go home.
Hi, I'm Lindy Barber. I'm up here in New York for the remainder of the week to hang out with and to do a whole bunch of work with Active Life and Dr. Sean Pastiche.
So I'm writing up one of their PCS, which is a performance care segment, which are little mini workouts that you can use as workouts solely on their own. You can use them before your workouts, after your workouts, but they are always just good movers for your joints to make sure that you're keeping your joints as healthy as possible in many different ways. So a lot of these things are things that I would get programmed from Sean throughout my training to do either after or before my training sessions with my team, just to make sure that my joints were staying healthy and as successful as they could on top of the other amounts of volume that I was doing and everything else. In the very beginning, it was definitely stuff that I wasn't doing very often. I hardly ever did tempo work. I hardly ever did workouts that were not necessarily under the duress of a time or rep count. It was just, you need to work through it, you need to continue breathing at a low heart rate. So it was definitely weird for me in the very beginning to not try to go fast or not try to rush the movements just because of the nature of what I was used to. But once I got used to it and once I got into doing a lot more of these PCS segments, the more I started to love them and wanted to add them in at the before and end of my training session because it just made me feel better. It either was like a built-in cool down for me, just depending on the volume that I had, or was a great way for me to warm up and to be prepped and ready for the rest of my day. So I started to like them a lot more the more I did them. And the tempo pieces are great because you feel like you're getting a whole lot of strength out of the movement without a whole lot of the weight balance that you're going to throw into your CrossFit workouts and other things. Our team ended up finishing in second in the 2017 games, which was not our personal goal as a team. Our goal was to win the CrossFit Games. So coming in second was not ideal, and I was out of pain with my knee, but I do have some back injuries. Of course, as a high-level CrossFitter, I've had tweaks in my shoulders and my elbows and my ankles, and so I didn't want to let go of Sean. I didn't feel that just because my knee was better, that there wasn't a whole bunch of other things in my body that I could definitely improve on and get to be healthier so that I, as an individual, can be a healthier component of our team. So I wanted to keep working with him. He was on board and he was like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make you as healthy as possible. You're not gonna have huge injuries this year like you have before. We can do this. So we did. He continued to program for me. I got a couple of my team members to work with him as well because I started to notice that they were having aches and pains that I knew that he could help with. And he was more than welcome and understanding and really awesome to not only me, but to the whole rest of our team into keeping us as healthy as possible through the 2018 season. And we did. So we got to 2018. Everybody was feeling overall pretty good once we got there. We ended up winning the CrossFit Games in 2018, which was our ultimate goal. That was maybe the best I've ever felt at a CrossFit Games from start to finish. I loved competing. I felt good every single day, and I was never in pain throughout the weekend, which was the first time in any CrossFit Games that I had felt that good.
So I absolutely love the active life stuff that he's given me. I've been a little bit off schedule since the end of 2018 just because there's a lot of changes that are happening in my current life, but I was just talking to him yesterday and I was telling him how much I actually miss the work that he programs for me because I always do feel better. And even having not done it for a month and a half at this point, when I'm even just casually training, I still feel kind of like twinges and aches and pains that I might not be feeling had I been doing the active life stuff. So I'm already a little bit anxious to get back into routine and to get back into his programming for me each day.
I'm telling Tyler that he needs to do better. Really, what I've observed from this whole board and this gym, and this is the best advice that I currently have. And that's all I'm gonna say. That's all he needs to do. He
So-
just needs to do better.
Does Tyler have some role in coaching you?
He used to. He
Got fired.
got fired. He programmed when I was wanting and needing more specific stuff to make myself as an individual a better athlete, to make sure that my team was as good as we could be. I sought the help of Sean initially, and then once I wanted a little bit more extra programming and I was just going to program stuff for myself, Sean was like, well, let's be smarter about this. I know this guy. If you talk to him a little bit, then he'll give you extra programming and work with what your team is doing so that they're not interfering. And that's when Tyler stepped in and he and I started working together on some programming stuff, which started pretty immediately after the games, like within a month of the 2017 games, just because the 2017 game in general were a little frustrating for myself and for our team, but I didn't want to feel that same frustration leading into 2018, so I wanted to get back into programming to make sure that I was as best as I could be right away. And then I elicited the help of Tyler to make sure that I wasn't skipping things in my own programming for myself just because I didn't want to do them or didn't think about them, and to make sure it was as well-rounded as it could be.
Do you remember the workout? When did you start CrossFit?
When did I start
Yeah.
CrossFit? In the end of 2010, 2011.
Bless your heart. So
Yeah, I'm a baby.
Chris Spieler and Jason Kleba did a workout at a level 1. It was 1 clean and jerk, 1 round to Cindy.
2 cleaners.
Yeah, I think 2 clean and jerks, 1 round to Cindy, 3, 1 round to Cindy, all the way to 10.
To 10 clean and jerks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's only 1 round of Cindy in between.
Yeah.
Cool.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I can do that. What's
Yeah?
the clean and jerk weight?
105 and 155.
Dig it. That's
Yeah?
good with me, yeah. Yeah.
My name is Tyler McBride. I'm the owner of CrossFit 516. I was coaching Lindy for about a year. She's kind of limited with her back and her injuries and her past of what she can and can't do, and she needs a little bit more structure as far as going into a team that everyone knows is built on volume and built on work. And she also has the respect of them as well, which is huge for if she needs to tell them, hey, I need to back off, they're like, okay, because she does perform when she's there. So, yeah. And then we kind of connected and talked a little bit about her goals, what she needs to succeed, what she's looking for, and kind of took it from there.
Is Tyler an odd duck?
Oh, totally, yeah. So in the very beginning, we kind of had this phone call conversation that was like kind of hit or miss. Like, I'm a very extroverted, bubbly, but it's hard to kind of get his personality a little bit right off the bat through the phone. So I was like, I don't really know if you're kidding or like if that was a joke or if you're like, you're serious about that thing. And we didn't meet for a long time, but it was really weird to like have not met him in person, but have talked to him almost every day. So once we met in person, it was almost like, I feel like we really need to get to know each other again, because I know how to text you now. Like, I understand your text voice, but I don't know what your real voice is, and I don't actually know how to have a conversation with you because we've never really talked. And I told him in the very beginning that I really wanted him to meet me in person, because a lot of the beginning was like, oh, well, this is hard, and well, this is too hard for me, and that was, I don't know, I really hated that, and that was really awful, and I hated it. I was like, I'm really not a negative person, I promise. Like, I'm really bubbly, like, I'm really extroverted, I'm a happy person, but through text, and all we're talking about is workouts. So I was like, I really want to meet you in person so that we actually get a feel for being friends, as opposed to like, I'm just this girl that whines about the workouts you give her every single day.
Any other clients get Harry Potter name workouts?
They don't.
Sad. You just throw them in there. Like, give them a Bellatrix and a Sirius Black.
I've given a few people the Bellatrix. That crushes people's souls.
Bellatrix is the one with the 60 pull-ups in the middle.
Yeah, clean
Yeah,
tricks.
and the clean and jerks and the wall balls.
Me, you, and Sean did that.
Yes, at Mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah. because I kept avoiding it. Pretend like I'm the rest of the world. So sometimes Tyler would give me workouts, and because he knows how much I love Harry Potter, he would name them Harry Potter characters so that they were more enticing to me to do. Because he would throw in movements that he knew that I didn't love, like super high rep wall balls, or a lot of bar muscle ups, or just some things, but he would call them Harry Potter names, because then it's more fun. And immediately he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna just kill some Bellatrix today, I'm gonna crush it, and it's gonna be amazing. And then that's how he was like, hey, have you done Bellatrix? And I'm like, yeah, I killed her earlier today, it was really awesome. It was fun. It's more fun that way. It was a nice personal touch. So that's why I was asking him if any of the athletes that he has now, if he's given them Harry Potter characters, and he said no. That was a special thing for me, and I appreciate it. So we are doing an increasing ladder of clean and jerks with 1 round of Cindy in between each number increase. So you'll do 1 clean and jerk, 1 round of Cindy, 2 clean and jerks, 1 round of Cindy, 3 clean and jerks, 1 round of Cindy, so on and so forth, until eventually you hit 10 clean and jerks, 1 round of Cindy to finish.
Do you want to give this a Harry Potter themed name?
Gosh. This is not Hermione, because that would be me, and this is not my favorite. I feel like since it's like the first time back, and it's not going to be like super intense, and there's not a whole lot of pressure on it, it should be like Neville.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
I was gonna say that. We will name him Neville Longbottom. Neville.
14:44.
Could you gone faster?
Probably will.
Is that like a PR pace for a workout you just created?
Well, that is PR, considering I've never done it. So I'll take that. I definitely could have pushed the first 5 rounds a little bit, and maybe pushed the round of 8 and 9 hair faster.
What are you gonna push the first?
I could have pushed the first
Yeah, right.
couple rounds a little bit, way more than I did. But then I would have gone way slower in the end.
Yep.
So, like a little bit, I maybe could have gotten it down to, I would say 14 minutes max, had I not benched last night and not killed myself. But it was good. I touch and go on the end when I didn't want to, so.
Saw that. I was like,
Yeah, I
you
was
said
like-
touch and go. I'm like, I'll do that for 3 reps and then I'm.
I didn't want to do it, but I was like, you should.
Yeah.
You can. So, you should try.
Cool.
Just do a little bit. Yeah.
Do better.
Just do better. I know. I definitely got to do better. But
I'm doing great.
today was better than normal.
Oh.
Has been. That's good. It was good though. It was a good workout. I liked it. It's a little bit of everything.
With the lead athletes, I think it's even more prevalent when it comes to, game day's over. Now what? Right? Like, I have some athletes that, like, their goal is like, hey, I want to win the CrossFit Games. And her goal was, I want to win the CrossFit Games. At the end of the day, it's for you. I'm extremely proud of what she's done. It's amazing, but it doesn't matter what I think. She needs to be proud of her. I was proud of her way before the games came, way before the Open came. It's like I don't need my eyes to see her accomplish something to be proud of her. You know what I mean? So I think they need to, and she's awesome with this, right? Like, CrossFit does not define her in any sense of the word. She is totally just Lindy Barber, without the name, without the, the image, without all of it. Like, she is solid in who she is, and you can see it in CrossFit Games are over. Awesome, cool. What do you want to do now? I don't know. Go live life, right? It's not her life. It's a part of her life, and it has to be if you're at that level. You have to definitely sacrifice and make that a big part of your life for a while, but don't slip and forget that it's not who you are. And that's something that they need to remember, because it might not help in training, but at some point their training is going to end, and that is extremely crucial. Did your coach teach you how to deal with life after this is all over? And if they didn't, you might end up fine, but you might not. you know, and I think that's something that every coach should start thinking about when they're dealing with their athletes. They're not robots. You know, they're human beings. They're people that go through a lot of stress on a daily basis, and afterwards, you're on a regimen for years. She was in Cookeville every single day, all year long, for years. And then one day, she was out, right? Won the games, gone out of Cookeville, and it's like, you have a new life. And she's totally good with it because it wasn't who she was. It was a piece of her, and it's a story she has, and it's molded her, but it's not who she is. And I think all coaches need to know that about their athletes and understand that your athletes are human beings. They were someone before you, and they're gonna be someone after you. It's how much you wanna influence them after you. I think that matters most.
Even with a little bit of devolumization from injuries and things over the last couple years, I mean, it's still a lot, right? Training for the games is super high volume, and my body in particular doesn't respond really well to that, so it needs times to work through the aches and the pains, and honestly, the stuff that you just ignore when season comes. You're just like, oh, well, I'm fine, and I'll deal with all of this when the season's over. So now is that time that I need to eat and recover, I need to get my body functioning back to normal, and just make sure that like everything gets reset to zero. So right now I'm just working out for fun. I do movements that feel good. I go in, I just decide what I want to do. I'm doing a lot of classes back in Kentucky with my old home gym that I used to coach at. So it's just really fun to just go in, sweat, have a good time, hang out with some people, and then be in and out within an hour, 5 to 6 days a week, depending on how I feel.
And I told her, you're not going to be the Lindy Barber that you're used to being during the Open. You're not going to be the person on your team who carries the team. You, as an individual, probably won't even qualify for regionals, even though you've been to the games the previous 2 years.
But I trusted the source that sent me to him enough to give the effort. And I am a person who, like, I'm gonna be friends with you until I'm not, and I'm gonna trust you until there's a reason why I don't. So with him, it was like, well, I'll try everything that you tell me, and as soon as it's not the way you say it's gonna be, or as soon as I'm right back into pain, or as soon as you tell me something that pushes me back, like then this is done, and I don't trust you anymore because you've led me astray.